What up, y'all? This is Jamba, and I'm here with another video. I'm doing like 4 or 5 of these in a row, so you're gonna see me with the bel air on. I like the sweater. Um, all right, so I've seen this before. I've seen this video before. So this is basically, hold on a second. Okay, so after 15 years of marriage, God said, "This isn't my husband." Woman says her husband didn't cheat, and they didn't argue. God just says it was time. Whew. All right, so I have seen this. This is old by internet standards. This might be like maybe year and a half old. Before I even start this video, I'm looking at this woman. Obviously, she's an attractive woman. She's attractive. Um, she got the tattoo. Now, look, man, I'm not trying to shame tattoos. Obviously, look, I got women in my family with tattoos, right? But it's still, regardless, though, man. And fellas, man, it's still a flag. It's a flag, man. Especially like the placement, the so when you it's just something to be mindful, y'all. But again, that doesn't mean just because a woman has tattoos that she's is gonna not be a good woman, but it's just something to be mindful about, y'all. It's just something to be mindful. But let's I keep going to the wrong one. Okay, let's dig in here.
I recorded this entire
Oh,
vlog without even looking into the camera. In fact, I was looking off at the camera screen.
earlier.
We were together for 15 years. We were married for 7. It was a beautiful thing, and we still had the normal ups and downs. But I will say we didn't have a relationship where we argued all the time. Yeah. We didn't have a relationship where we were dealing with infidelity or stuff like that. During those times, we didn't have that type of relationship. So, because we were friends first. Yeah. So it was always like that's my homie. It was just
Uh-oh.
something in me as a woman. I cannot explain it to where it was like I was battling myself. You feel like I'm trying to do the right thing, but it's something that's pulling me away from doing this. But why would it pull me away from my husband? I'm battling in the midst of that with religion, like with the people telling me at church and what I'm getting spiritual advice from. And then I'm battling with it with myself. Like, why am I feeling this way? I'm talking about I'm going to therapy for myself to figure out why am I feeling this way towards my husband. And the way I was feeling, it wasn't like I felt resentment towards him. It was almost like I was withholding a piece of me that I couldn't give him. I'm sitting on the couch and we had a small issue, and that small issue was back that pattern. Now, you done went to therapy for this. We done had talks for this. I done talked to you. What did you get from this? After we had a small issue, and that small issue was back that pattern. Now, you done went to therapy for this. We done had talks for this. I done talked to you. What did you get from this after I said to make sure you understand? Because I love to communicate. And I'm sitting on the couch, y'all, and I kid you not, God told me that is not your husband. Wow. For 15 years.
All right, so this might be one of the situations where I'm going to look in the comments section and see what the comments say, because I don't want to don't just take my opinion. I want to see what the opinions of the people in there, and I know they're going to be lighting her up in the comment section. And I think that's part of the reason why I want to, because I'm not going to be as harsh, I think, as the comments. But let's I have my assessment, but let's watch this a little bit piece by piece, and I can tell you a little bit about what my thoughts are.
Years, we were married for 7. It was a beautiful thing. We were together for 15 years. We were married for 7. It was a beautiful thing.
Together for 15 years, married for 7. 7-year itch. Y'all heard of the 7-year itch? Let's Google what the 7-year itch is so I can 7-year itch meaning. 7-year itch. According to AI, thank you, AI. The 7-year itch is an informal term that refers to a feeling of dissatisfaction or restlessness in a relationship that occurs around the 7-year mark. It could also refer to the idea that divorce rates peak around this time. The term became popular after the 1955 film adaptation of The 7-Year Itch, starring Marilyn Monroe. The movie is about a married man who becomes infatuated with his wife and plans to cheat. There's no definite proof that the 7-year itch is real, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so, yeah, I remember that. It came from an old movie. All right, so literal 7-year itch right here. So this is some standard issue shit right here.
And we still had like, the normal ups and downs. But I will say we didn't have a relationship where we argued all the time. Yeah. We didn't have a relationship where we were dealing with infidelity or stuff like that, during those times. We didn't have that type of relationship. So, because we were friends first.
Yeah. All right, so that told you a whole lot. So we were friends first. We were friends first. We were friends first. Um, Now I know ideally, it would make sense for you to be friends first with a woman because you're friends. The man cares about her well being and vice versa. You guys get to know each other on something that is not necessarily romantic, and then romantic feelings develop later on, and this could lead to stronger bonds in a relationship. And um, but what this tells me is that more than likely she wasn't. Here's the to kind of get to the point of it. She wasn't that attracted to this man. This man was more than likely a really good man. They're saying that they didn't argue, right? So uh he was probably a reasonable dude. I'm just inferring some stuff, so I could be 100% wrong, but he seems pretty reasonable. He probably wasn't super combative. She wasn't combative because you can't be combative against somebody who isn't combative. So this guy wasn't combative. um, she said there was no infidelity involved, so this guy isn't a cheater. This guy's probably was really satisfied with his wife. I mean, she is an objectively attractive woman. So this guy probably didn't provide any type of real conflict in this relationship, and then she was just kind of on board. And judging by the fact that of how attractive she is, the guy is probably a provider. He probably has a really great job, and things were probably going smoothly. But this is somebody who has dealt with dudes in relationships that didn't go smoothly. So, and don't ask me how I know, but I know. All right. So, but let's rewind a little.
During those times, we didn't have that type of relationship. So, because we were friends first. Yeah. So it was always like, that's my homie. It was just
Oh,
something.
yep, that's my homie. That's my homie. It was always like that's my homie. That's not a way in which you talk about your romantic spouse. That is platonic. That is sterile. That is non-sexual verbiage. That's my homie. That's not how, like, fellas, if you're talking to a woman, and I'm not a dating coach by any fucking means, so don't listen to me. But listen here. If a woman is referring to you as a homie or a brother or any kind of language like that, then there's not really much of any sexual attraction that's there. So the fact that she's saying that's my homie is already um giving me an indication that this woman is not attracted to this man like this. There was no burning passion or desire, and over time, this wore on her because her own hypergamy and her own. And I'm not gonna. When I'm saying hypergamy, I'm basically meaning her sexual strategy. Her nature and how it relates to how she picks men was tugging away at her, and we're gonna see that over time she just wanted out of there because this guy wasn't what she was attracted to on a visceral level, like how she was used to. Because best believe this woman was used to dudes that she was viscerally attracted to, but those guys were not relationship material. So that's why she ended up getting with this guy, because he is relationship material. But so um let's continue. It's not a long video either, so
In me as a woman, I cannot explain it to where it was like I was battling myself. You feel like I'm trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, she's trying to do the right thing. You'll see. Look.
But it's something that's pulling me away from doing this. But why would it pull me away from my husband?
Because you're not attracted to him. She wasn't really into the guy. This is not somebody who she genuinely at her core really wanted to be with. She was doing it for the right reasons. And what she really wants is not aligning to what's right. And is she gonna talk about how she went to church for it?
I'm battling in the midst of that with religion, like with the people telling me at church and what I'm getting spiritual advice from. And then I'm battling with it with myself. Like, why am I feeling this way? I'm talking about I'm going to therapy for myself to figure out why am I feeling this way.
And going to therapy probably wasn't like the best. I would say the therapy probably didn't help. I mean, Um, Therapy helps, but I have my own thoughts on it. Yeah. Oh, wrong one. Let's.
Towards my husband. And the way I was feeling, it wasn't like I felt resentment towards him. It was almost like I was withholding a piece of me.
And she got tattoos on her hands. Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. Look, man, fellas, if she got more tattoos than you as a man, then that's not a woman who you should. That's not going to work out. I have a theory on that. I think if she got more tats than you, then you know, yeah.
That I couldn't give him. I'm sitting on the couch and we had a small issue, and that small issue was back that pattern. Now, mind you, we done went to therapy for this. We done had talks for this. I done talked to you. What did you get from this after I said to make sure you understand? Because I love to communicate. And I'm sitting on the couch, y'all, and I kid you not, God told me that is not your husband. Wow.
How did I'm gonna wrap it right? Well, I'm gonna look at I'm gonna look at the comments, but I don't think that God told you that's not your husband because that's your fucking husband. I think the devil, I think the snake on the tree told you that's not your husband. I don't think that was God because that's literally your husband. So how you gonna have God tell you something that's a lie? Because that's you know what I mean. So I think that she's kind of coping with that whole God told me this is not my husband. I think that's a way out. I think that's a way to kind of excuse um bad behavior. Okay, so let's look at the comment section here. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of a dive into these comments, right? Because I gave you kind of my assessment. I just think that basically she wasn't really all that into the guy. She's probably used to a different caliber of man. And the guy who she ended up with, who was a overall, objectively speaking, a good man, just didn't speak to her. I'm gonna get a little religious on you, but her sinful nature, I guess. I mean, I don't know, but and then she used God as a scapegoat to pull the eject button, right, on the whole situation. So we got the normal stuff. Dumbass deal 4. Don't blame God. That was the devil. Like I said, the devil in your ear. Instead of praying for your marriage, you allowed the devil to trick you. Yeah. Um, do not put that on the Most High. He told you unto death do you part. Your God, whatever he may be, told you it was okay to leave that man. Um, let's see. Obviously the same type of stuff. She's a liar. Don't use God for blasphemy. She was feeling boredom drives most women away. I drove my son's mom away from not being spontaneous and keeping it fresh. So she had the mind of a child. That's funny. Satan, Lucifer, the devil all seem to be more accessible than God in this world. Interesting. Um, if you religious, I don't think God works like that. You just want it out because he was boring. Just say that. All those words to lie on God like that, and a pastor was in her ear probably because he was probably smashing. Okay, um, he wasn't hitting right. Okay, let's see. She cheated and got out before getting caught. That's funny. Um, yeah, I think I kind of got the gist of what I sort of wanted to check out there. But yeah, y'all, very sad stuff. Sad stuff indeed. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll come back at you with some more reactions.